Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the November 27, 2007 Board of Selectmen Sewer Commissioners meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Madam Chairman, all 5 selectmen are present, as is the town administrator.
Thank you. Before we begin this evening, is there anyone that would like to address the board under citizens' participation? No. Okay. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda, and I don't believe...
No bills.
No bills, right?
No
okay,
bills.
So we have no bills to sign. That's good. All right. All right, the next item on the agenda is the classification hearing for fiscal year 2008 with the Director of Assessing. Oh, and I believe our Chairman of the Board of Assessors. Welcome, Mr. Curry. How are you this evening? Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Curry. I'm the Chairman of the Board of Assessors. We're here tonight for the classification hearing on setting a residential factor for the upcoming tax year. Usually the town sets a residential factor of 1, but there is an option to do a split tax rate. What I'd like to do now is introduce our Director of Assessment, Richard Gonzalez. He can get into more of the details and answer any of your questions in regards to that.
Hi, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting me participate here and for giving me the opportunity to be your assessor. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, and let me introduce myself again. My name is Richard Gonzalez. I have been your tax assessor for approximately 11 months now. I have found it to be an enjoyable experience. I've received great cooperation with the taxpayers of the town, the department heads, the Department of Revenue, and every other interaction, organization, and department. This is my first time in front of you, but I've been in this business for 27 years. I started out as in a reevaluation company, and this reevaluation company is a spin-off of the company who we contract today to do your values, Vision Appraisal. I actually did some work in this community back in I believe it was 81 when the reval first went out under a company called Municipal Appraisal. So I'm familiar with the town. I know now a lot more than I did 11 months ago about Wareham, and I'm still learning, but I have a lot of experience. After the 4 years, 4 years with the reval company, I went into serving the public. I was the city appraiser of the city of Newton for 4 years. I subsequently took a job with the town of Fairhaven for 1 year as their first town appraiser. Then I moved on to the town of Seekonk, who I have been was the appraiser there and the assessor for almost 18 years. So that will lead me into my background, and now basically what I'd like to do is go over the information with you. I've handed out some information in your packet about a week ago, and I am here to say, and I'm happy to say, that the values have been certified by the Department of Revenue. They were certified this afternoon. The valuations have been certified, and our growth has been certified. So with that, we're allowed to set a factor. And let me go over a few things that has happened. Since 2005, cities and towns in the Commonwealth are required to do interim year adjustments to the values based on sales analysis. And that is a requirement that's set forth in order to send out tax bills. We have done this requirement this year, and basically I'll get into the stats here. In the analysis that we did, I can honestly say that the single-family market is flat. We have less than 0.5% of negative growth, so we can say it's flat there. The commercial market, that's a little different. That has an increase of 13.4%. And basically, I think a lot of that is a spin-off of your mall. You have a nice mall going up there. You have some of the areas in town which are revitalizing also. So this in the combination, we did a complete overhaul of our commercial values. We sent out income and expense statements. We analyzed them. We consolidated our appraisal package system. In the past, we had 2 appraisal package systems. We now have 1. So also when I look at this, I see industrials that have a 7% increase. What now leads to is the growth. We roughly picked up $190,000 and $190,653 to be exact in the residential side. We picked up on the commercial side $225,813. We picked up $8,658 on the industrial side. Personal property we picked up $74,535, totaling $499,659. That's certified growth. So that's our new growth for the year of FY08. The total valuation of the town is $3,928,807,110. Are there any questions?
Where are you referencing? Where is that referenced?
It's referenced on the worksheet, the what-if scenario. You should have in your
Page
packet.
104 stapled together.
And now, if I may, I'd like to get into the shift scenarios. If we have a single rate and you choose a residential factor of 1, the residential rate goes, the old rate was $6.81. It now goes to $6.96. Last year's average house value was $318,343. This year's average house is $317,745. So you could see that it's dropping, or pretty close to stable. Last year's average tax bill at that was $2,167.92. This year's average tax bill at a factor of 1 would be $2,211.51, or an increase of $43.59 to the average house. If we look at commercials, what I've done, there really is, it's very hard to figure out what an average commercial is because the way the state class is classified, it includes land. So what I try to do is figure out an average based on the value in the sample. And last year's average commercial, we were looking at a value of $479,265. Their average bill was $3,263.79. That same average property today is going, the average value now is $579,097. If we went with that single rate, that average bill would go up to $4,030.52, or an increase of $766.72. Now, if you people decided to shift, what I've done is lay out two scenarios that I figure were easy and best to understand. This gets complicated. So what I did was, I said, what happens at 125, and what happens at your maximum shift, which you're allowed to go to 150. And basically what I did is I took that average house at 100% at a single rate. You're at, again, $2,211.51. If we go to the 125 factor, the average residential tax bill drops to $2,132.07, or the resident saves $79.44. That same scenario, at 150, the tax bill drops to $2,052.63, or a savings of $158.88. Now that's on the residential side. Now what's going to happen is, what happens to the commercial industrial side? And what I did there was I tried to figure out what the mom and pop store was valued at, and then I figured out on $1 million what your commercials, your big boxes and those type of items today. So looking at a $500,000 ma and pa, they're at $3,480 at a single rate. They now go to, at a 125 factor, they go to $4,350, or an $870 increase. If we do that same 150 factor, the tax bill goes up to $5,220, or a $1,740 increase. Now, if we go to the million scenario, their tax bill is at $6,960. If we go to the 125, they're at $8,700, or a $1,740 increase. If we go to the 150, they go to a $10,000